The player islands in Hypixel Skyblock are slowly becoming irrelevant. Let me explain what I mean by that. We have the experimentation table, so that is one use for an island. However, that is a, 2x3 block. We used to need these here, enchantment tables. Not anymore with the introduction of /et and /hex. You basically don't need this if you have a cookie. Even mana in here used to be actually useful on the island for reforging things without having to go to the hub. Now you just type /hex. And well, that is a later game solution. If you're doing reforged stones on a regular basis, you're most likely in the late game anyway. With how alchemy is in the game currently, I believe that the developers will be adding in a way to get alchemy experience outside of the personal island in the near future. Possibly much like the experimentation table. Now you may argue that player farms are still very useful on islands, and currently they are. However, I get the feeling with the introduction of the garden, player farms become almost completely irrelevant. I believe the garden was spearheaded as a project because a Hypixel developer didn't like how these farms looked in player islands. In a patch, you can no longer gain combat experience on the player island from minions, and you also no longer gain drops from minions dying to things that are not player-induced. So minions no longer drop things when they're killed by cactus, etc. Making AFKing on your island pretty much useless. Now, minions are obviously still very useful. However, I don't feel like the minions actually need to be on your island. They could probably just be in a menu just as easily. Other kinds of player farms, such as this gravel farm, where you just use a builder's wand, place the gravel, it all falls down into here, it gets collected. I don't know where that... Oh, it went to my inventory, okay. This has been nerfed severely, due to the admins putting a hard cap on the amount of falling blocks you can have on your world. Pistons are also currently disabled, because why wouldn't they be disabled? Cactus farms have been basically completely removed from the game. I haven't seen anyone use a cobblestone generator in ages. Does anybody actually use, like, the carpentry furniture decorations? They just don't look great. I only use a couple of the actual decorations, like these plushies, because they look cool. You can't fish on your private island. You can forage on your private island, but it still turns out to be less efficient than lobby hopping for a little while to find yourself a good foraging lobby. Dispensers don't dispense bone meal, they just kind of spit it out like a dropper does. So you can't even build yourself an automatic tree farm. Like, seriously, Hypixel, the only thing I use my private island for now is storage and minions. And even those are almost irrelevant. Not the minions, but the storage. With the introduction of cookies, you can basically sell everything to the bazaar or the auction house and just keep all of your items in there, or in a backpack, which you have a lot of, or in an ender chest, or in the museum. Like, we have so many places to store things that are not the private island now. The private island is slowly becoming completely irrelevant. You do not even need to build an AFK pool anymore if you have a cookie. You can literally just stand here and you're chilling. Like, what?